Do you care about endings and dying? Do you think about it even?
Yeah, I do. But I'm not afraid of it at all, actually.
No, well, in this hot summer we've had here, I had to keep everything alive by watering it. So I suppose we just need a bit of watering to keep
Have
us
some more
going.
water.
No, thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Catherine Fairweather, and welcome to the third act, brought to you by Orions, the gold standard in later living. In this week's podcast, I get a privileged tour of the most romantic garden of the West Country. Ashington Manor is the Elizabethan seat of rock star garden designers Julian and Isabel Bannerman, who created Highgrove for the King and worked their magic on the country estates of Mark Getty and Jacob Rothschild, among many others. Ashington Manor represents a signature Bannerman take on garden design that marries untamed romantic sensibilities with the formality of sculptured yew and topiary. We sat down in their vivid studio, surrounded by their books, boxes, and designs to talk about partnerships in life and in gardens. It's wonderful to be at Ashington Manor. This is where all the creative stuff goes on, right?
Yeah, and the hard labour.
And the hard labour. And it's where you do your beautiful prints.
Yes.
And Julian, what do? You try and avoid being in here, do you?
Yes, how did you know that? Yes.
You don't strike me as a man who particularly loves sitting in front of a computer. In fact, do you know how to switch one on?
No, I have sent one email in my life, but the emails just create other emails.
I'm totally fascinated by your partnership in gardens and also as a marriage. How does it work? Do you separate your working life from your domestic life, or do they sort of segue one into the other? Can you separate them even?
I don't think so, no. I think we talk about work all the time.
Yeah.
And we live all the time as well.
So the working and the living is one and the same thing?
I think so.
Mm.
And you've done amazing gardens projects through your career, but some of the really extraordinary stuff is within your own houses. So you've moved 4 times. This is the 4th big project and big house.
Mm-hmm.
Can you bear letting go of these creations, these babies? They're like children.
Yeah, because gardens are always changing, you know.
Well, like children.
Yeah.
Yes, the borders change. You know, they get bigger and expand. You've got shrubs in them. You know, everything changes.
And the work gardens are our babies too. I mean, we get very, very attached to them and then have to break off. So I suppose we're in the habit of it.
And sometimes some people get you back quite often. And some people, not because you had a row with them or fallen out, don't get you back so much. But they evolve, you know, everything evolves and grows and grows and grows.
I suppose there is no ending in a garden. They, as you say, they evolve, they have a life of their own.
Evolve.
But there comes a moment in your life where you think, the garden is now at its maturity. So, like Mary Poppins, it's time to move on with the next wind. Is that, do you both wake up one morning and look at each other and think, let's go, let's move on?
No, I think it's usually economics or logistics or...
We obviously don't charge the clients enough.
You obviously don't, because you said to me, or you say maybe in your book, Husbandry, you described it as
fighting.
A life purpose.
Battle.
And I'm always amazed because you've created gardens for Gettys, for the King, for Rothschild.
There's quite a few humble gardens.
Are there? Maybe I haven't read about the humble gardens.
In the list, well, they didn't.
So the gardening bug came about through your love of restoring ancient buildings first, wrecks. Is that how it started?
My mother lived in Wales and Somerset.
Dyed in the wool.
And had a very small, little, humble, long, imaginative, clever, romantic garden right in the centre of Wales. And she hadn't got that much money, but she did it very well. And she took us to see lots of gardens. And so I had that. And when I was a small boy, either in terrible schools that we went to far away in the 60s and 50s, I built lots of dens, amazing dens out of wood in the woods.
Well, I like doing that too.
But yeah, she's a den builder.
But I would say, because I built dens and made houses and things with my brother. But the garden side of it, I think my parents managed to make into a chore for everybody. And then my mother was dead keen to get back to London.
I think both of us
Both of us.
We read landscape in any boring journey or exciting journey. Or
You read landscape?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always
You see it.
looking at things.
It's like another dimension.
That's interesting. And Isabel, you're a historian, right?
Yeah.
And you're also reading landscape from a sort of historical point of view, are you?
Well, I think we're both fascinated in the historical point of view, but it's like, you suddenly see a sequoia on your horizon and you know what kind of house you're probably going to find there, or, that
Or a dreaded
terroir,
copper beech will.
this
And also the lie of the land.
geology.
We're all so aware out of the periphery of our vision. It's the periphery, the things you're not looking at on the sides.
whether there's bracken
Hills.
in the hedgerows, or so then we do this together all the time.
So you're creating a garden around what exists already. You're seeing the lie of the land, where the sun rises, and so it becomes, that informs the kind of garden you're going to create. I think you told me once that actually you already know when you start a garden what it's going to look like in 10 years' time. Is that right?
Well, you think you do.
And you're pretty much right, you said.
I think I'm nearly right on that. Yeah, I mean, life's full of surprises and contradictions there.
Yeah, and I think you're always amazed by trees, how big they get, and how the dynamic
But
changes.
that's the thing about how everything evolved.
Yeah.
I mean,
Surprising things always happen.
That's part of the magic.
yes,
perhaps.
it's not like being a painter where you finish a painting and you sell it to somebody. And there's only one artist I've known who used to go into John Schlesinger's house where he sold a painting and take it down from the wall in the 60s and continue painting it. But there's that.
Because I think I find that quite interesting, is knowing when to stop, actually, when to lay down your tools.
Oh, yeah.
And some people just don't know when to leave off, do they?
Yeah.
They don't know.
Well,
maybe that's why when you leave your houses and gardens, you do know, you have a sense of timing.
Well, sometimes there's too much gardening. I mean, it's like there's too many garden designers and not enough gardeners. So, when you have finished a garden, and hopefully you've got a gardener, they become the magic people that the owner can if they're interested too. But basically, there's far too many garden designers.
Yeah, I think we might have talked about that before, about how we have actually lost jobs by saying to people, don't
touch it.
Yeah.
Well, if you have a wonderful orchard on the side of your house, and a bit like ordering too much food, and they did come back 5 years later when we didn't get the job and said you were right. We abandoned it in the end.
Yeah, so you believe in sort of romantic abandon, or just letting
Well,
things...
no, sometimes just...
letting them be.
Don't
keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good
Ian
advice.
Hamilton Finley said, the garden is not a retreat, it's an attack. And it is so much, even though you look at it not in fear, but it's wonderful.
And also people underestimate how much it takes to keep up. And they curiously don't seem to mind spending the money in the beginning. They hate spending money on staffing, which is really sad, because that's the best thing to spend your money on.
On staffing?
Yeah.
Staffing.
Whereas all nice people who
Paying
work
gardeners
in it and make it look
who
lovely.
actually garden well, and they all need pensions and everything. They're the creative side in a way.
And, this wonderful garden here, how many gardeners do you have working with you here?
At the moment, there's one or two people helping, but normally there haven't been.
But it's 8 acres, isn't it? It's quite a large garden to be managing on your own.
There's 4 acres of wildflower, which seems to be so successful at the moment, apart from the terrible heat, and also the flowers will be over now. There's only about
I reckon it's
acre of
about
garden.
2 acres of garden.
Yeah, an acre and a half of garden.
But it's very specifically designed to be manageable, mostly by Julian, because I'm always in here answering emails.
Poor you, Isabel.
Poor me.
But you're also writing your column for the Country Life.
Making images.
And books,
which
are also
you're doing
wonderful.
Wonderful scans.
Yeah, so you're also in your head thinking about gardens and writing about them and putting them on paper.
Yeah.
And some of the nicest things here don't require a lot of energy now, like down the wonderful drive. It's jam-packed with a whole lots and lots, hundreds of different types of snowdrops, and then it goes on to the most amazing fritillaries, because it gets quite wet down the drive in winter.
What do you do in the winter? Are you still working hard in the winter, or do you put your feet up?
No,
Wow.
Julian never puts his feet up.
You dream of spring.
And how does the whole physicality of gardening translate in later life? I mean, you're not... Isabel's young, but you're not a spring chicken.
Oh, thanks a lot. She keeps saying she's old, and she's 10 years younger than me, and I keep saying, God, you wait till you're me. I suppose the only advantage of this great garden is that there are no banks and everything's very flat. So it's sort of like a disabled garden in a way.
Must keep you really fit.
Yeah. No, I love it. I wake up early, and it's, you can get things done.
Are there things that you can't do anymore?
I'm not so good at climbing ladders, as I discovered yesterday.
I know, you didn't fall
Well,
off.
walking on scaffolding, actually, that's slightly loose, which I used to be brilliant at. I used to scamper around it. But I made an attempt last night and realised that slightly bumpy planks is not for me. Yeah. Well, never mind.
That's
Anyway.
But as garden designers, I always think that people who work so close to nature are maybe more attuned to the sort of tick-tock of the universe, the passing of seasons, time, endings, limits, decay, rebirth. Are you more sanguine about your own passing of the years and mortality than maybe most people? And does it make you more aware or less aware, or do you care about endings and dying? Do you think about it even?
Yeah, I do. But I'm not afraid of it at all, actually.
No, well...
I don't know whether that's to do with gardening.
In this hot summer we've had here, I had to keep everything alive by watering it. So I suppose we just need a bit of watering to keep
Have
us
some more
going.
water.
No, thank you very much. Really
Don't drink the
Well,
stuff.
no.
No, I use it in the garden, but we're going to have a very big water bill this year. Anyway.
I think it does make you very patient. I mean, gardeners are very...
Patient.
Yeah, they're sort of kind and adaptable, and on the whole, they're used to knockbacks.
And I think, don't you, that just the very physical act of putting your hands in the soil calms you down. I mean, it's been proven to, hasn't it? But you talk about squabbling all the time, but you're still quite relaxed and zen with each other. You're not fighting over where you're going to put the pelargonium pot. So how does it work? You say, I think we need to put the tree that you said to me they were called punctuation in a poem. It's how you describe the structure of a garden and the bits and pieces. Do you start with the bits and pieces, meaning the trees, the seeds?
Isabel can write like a dream, so that's probably why she's a very good garden designer. But she can actually physically write. I'm a hopeless writer. My writing is my gardening, in a way.
And you start with...
you're painting.
You're a painter.
I've always,
Or a
a
sculptor.
bad painter at the Ruskin until Henry Moore came on the viewing day and looked at my work and looked at my hands and said, "You're a sculptor."
So you see in 3 dimensions.
Yes,
more.
very much so.
But you're also a colourist, aren't you? Looking at your shirt.
No, I love colour. I probably love colour too much. And 2 years ago, at the end of COVID, I suddenly realised I'd lost my sense of smell because I think the pug had peed on the hall, and I put some lavender water on and didn't smell it. And I thought, well, it'll come back. Anyway, it didn't. So. But I still have the memory of smell, which was 3/4 of everything about the garden, even.
It's a cruel thing for a
Yes,
garden
but it's
designer.
amazing how you adapt.
Really?
Quite interesting, yeah.
So when you're planting, you can imagine, you remember, obviously, memory, you remember the smells of... And Isabel is so brilliant at writing about smell that maybe all you need to do is have one of her books on your bedside table to remember.
But I can still remember what a Philadelphia smells like.
But you're definitely less motivated by
Yes, I'll probably become a bit more of a
planting smelly
colourist.
thing. Yeah.
There's no such thing, I think you said, as good taste or bad taste in gardening? Or...
No, it's not the fault of the plant. It's just, I mean, there's some things I don't like. I don't like variegated things, but it's not...
That's a prejudice.
That's a prejudice.
You don't like, what are they called, those red trees?
Copper beeches.
Copper beeches.
Yeah, no, I don't. Wordsworth didn't like them either. Wordsworth hated them.
And you don't like round petunias and roundabout plantings either.
No, my garden's getting so colourful. It might be accused of being a roundabout planting, looking out the window of our studio here.
Yeah, I love the planting in Yeovil. It's fantastic. They do bananas and all sorts.
I think on the roundabouts.
Yeah,
No, but
on
on
the streets, in the churchyard.
near the churchyard on the way to M&S. Somebody noticed it. You came the other day.
It's really joyful.
It's got very good soil. You can grow huge trees.
Your starting point is often trees, isn't it, in the garden?
Well, that is the most satisfying thing to do as well, because if you live long enough.
But, you're now past middle age or youth. And so trees, you might not sit in their shade. So are you ordering trees that are already mature in your gardens?
They vary.
I mean, that isn't so much a problem for our clients. Our latest clients are 30.
Oh, right, yes. So they can wait to see the tree grow. So if you were going to be, I don't know if you believe in afterlives. Do you believe in an afterlife, Isabel?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you don't believe in being reincarnated as anything,
No.
Copper Beach.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to ask you, what would you like to be? What plant would you like to be?
Well, you could always
reincarnated as if you could be.
Planted, my ashes planted underneath a mulberry.
Perhaps.
Well, it's buy a new mulberry. Somebody's buy a new
love
mulberry.
a mulberry.
Plant me underneath it so you can eat me later.
Yeah, I think
They like slow release fertilisers.
Go for something really long-lived, like a yew or a...
Well, mulberries are very good because if they fall over, they reroot again.
Yeah.
Reroot again and reroot again. So,
There are lots of poems about mulberries, aren't there?
Really?
it's one of my favourite things.
Yeah, they seem to catch the literary imagination anyway. And yours is a yew.
Yeah.
Because it's of its longevity. Nice. And as bon viveurs, both of you, imagine it's your last supper and you had to stage direct it. What would you have us eat, and who would be at that dining room table, and what would you put on the dining room table?
But where would the dining room table be?
Well, yes, to start with, under a tree, your mulberry tree, or inside this beautiful Elizabethan house.
Don't really know. As long as there's laughter, nice wine, pretty people.
Lobster.
Lobster. Yeah.
Julian always has lobster for his birthday.
Lobster's great because you can eat it with your hands, and it sort of creates a sort of
feastiness, doesn't it?
Feasting
It's so
vibe.
beautiful.
And who would you put round your table if you could, dead or alive?
John Evelyn.
Oh yeah, good
She'd
choice.
go with that too. I knew. I suggested that because I knew. It's most amazing if anybody listening to this dreary cast, read Evelyn. It's such fun.
Such fun.
Such adventure. Yeah, Adventura.
Yeah.
Timeless.
Gosh, that's a really tricky one. Could bring back some old mates like Christopher Gibbs.
Probably have my mother just to say "stupid boy" again. And she looked at me disapprovingly.
And what about someone you haven't met?
Well, I was looking into something the other day, and I thought I'd really like to have met Georgina Masson. She wrote about Italian gardens.
Oh, yes,
and photographs.
And Rome.
Amazing.
Oh, that wonderful book. We got it at home,
and a
writing in
brilliant
the 50s.
photographer,
right?
yeah. Which I hadn't realised. I'd never thought about who took the photographs, but it was her.
Yeah.
And what about you? What would you have for your last supper? You'd probably be cooking it, but maybe you decide.
I'll be doing the flowers, and I don't know.
That's what Jasper Conran was writing about in The Bible of Good Taste. He was talking about you as his hero designers, your aesthetic as being insouciant and thrown together. So you'd throw together this sort of Last Supper, would you?
That's interesting, because are we perfectionists or absolutely the opposite? Because, I mean, we're a bit sort of driven. But I was thinking about this garden because we've been tidying it up for you. And it's sort of quite self-consciously, I think, not a garden designer's garden.
As is your house, in fact, as is your interior style. I wouldn't even call it a style, it's just...
Thank you very much.
I don't like the word style, but, well, I think it's almost hard to replicate.
But here's another thing that...
But it's attainable because there's nothing expensive involved.
Another thing about gardens is we love garden pavilions. In other words, punctuation in the garden of things to go to.
It's about living in it.
Because it's about living in it and eating in it. And even in winter, you can sort of get out of the rain somewhere, even if it's just a humble little arbour you've made out of tin sheeting if you had no money. And, you can grow brambles over the top of it with a rambling rose. It doesn't really matter. But...
or it's about the idea.
Yeah.
The idea of sitting and stopping, pausing, smelling the roses and the punctuation, chatting.
And even people who have allotments, it's exactly the same. They rush back to the allotment to see what on earth has happened.
Yeah, they rush back to that little bench at the end or the chair at the end of the allotment to sort of sit and stare.
And the ravages of the attacks upon you from Ian Hamilton Finlay quote, I grew an amazing amount of Brussels sprouts in the fruit cage, and the whole lot got ravaged by 8,000...
my beloved cabbage white.
Her beloved, horrible. I was about to swear, I think of a much worse word. I can see them fluttering around now. They've got nothing to eat now, I hope.
I saw them earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, they're lovely, aren't they? They're beautiful.
Oh, well, they're good fluttering around in the sky, but...
Poor old cabbages, it was a bit sad.
I'd lost my sense of taste, as I told you, so I thought this year I hated Brussels sprouts, so I grow them for the children for Christmas. And my God, they were brilliant. They were sort of 7 foot high, some of them.
You can't eat a 7 foot high Brussels sprout.
They really were. You could have made a walking stick out of it, like people did. And then there was the dwarf ones, and I wasn't concentrating on it. I was doing all the salvias we've got here. It's got a huge collection of salvias. I suddenly turned and looked, and they'd all got in, and there was millions of them. So they're all now on the compost heap, and I'm in mourning. So that's what's good. Some things don't work.
Some things don't work. So that's part of the sort of dynamic of its own, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, when you say you're perfectionists, when do you know to leave something alone? I mean, I think it's a real talent to know when to leave it alone, because you can go on and on and on. And
yeah, well, painters have that problem, don't they?
Yeah.
Stop. Everybody has that problem. I mean, writing must be the same.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, luckily I don't have that problem.
Luckily we have deadlines, so you have a framework.
The world service goes on and on and on now. Rubbish. That's one thing that somebody needs to work out how to change, as us sleepless folk listen to it. There's a good old-fashioned grumble.
Well, there's an antidote to that, though, isn't there? There's the slow something movement that started in Scandinavia, which is, just watching a fire burn, and you can just go, all the wheels of the train, and that creates its own sort of, I suppose the sort of enforced boredom is soothing.
I'm a big fan of
in
boredom.
a fast world where we're all on rabbit wheels.
Yeah, I mean, as children, don't you think we had incredible acres of boredom?
Yes,
and it was really good for the imagination.
It was, as you said, that you created your dens in that spare time, acres of spare time,
and dressing up, and
there was no horrible phones. No horrible internet.
I'm a big fan of boredom, especially for children.
Should gardens be boring too?
Yeah, in bits, yeah. I mean, they shouldn't be all singing or dancing.
Yeah, they shouldn't be all theatre, and they should be, as you said, you were describing Robert Kine's garden. You were walking around and he was so thrilled when you got to the area where there was nettles.
Hooray for nettles.
Bees, no flies hovering over the rubbish. But he could relax, and it wasn't...
That's the smell I can remember, hot nettles on tin sheeting.
Oh,
what a great
evocation of
childhood, a rented house. Wow. Creosote was a lovely smell, childhood.
Weren't you perfume scent designers for a while?
Oh, that was a great treat.
Yeah,
we nearly did that when we first met in Edinburgh. We found this
That's
building.
what we were going to do, in fact.
I wish you would do it again, because you...
I couldn't do it now.
But you could, because it's all in your head, and that would...
No, but I wouldn't. How would I sniff anything if I...
Well, she'd have to be your nose.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't trust me.
That's so unfair. We did a perfume. We tried very hard with a rather good nose to do a Magnolia grandiflora smell. And lots of other people have tried it. That was very, very hard.
It made you realise how sophisticated they are, those smells, because it's so hard to replicate them without them smelling sort of slightly shitty or like an airport or,
The only advantage of losing sense of smell is when you go through Heath Road perfume department, which used to be the worst thing in the world apart from the worst lavatory on the motorway. You can't smell anything, and I walk through it now in total joy. And they always have little starry floors on them. And you pass all these, because I used to love perfumery. And I now pass through in absolute joy. So there are advantages.
Yeah, there are, but I think that we should revisit creating a perfume. I mean, my favourite smell is the smell. In fact, I think at your library in there, you walk in and the smell of cold stone, not hot stone, cold stone that's quite cold.
Oh, like a church.
Like a church, yes, and the smell of dust and books.
Ooh,
yeah.
That's getting quite sexy, though.
Well, I don't know what your fantasies are, but...
No, but that sounds
mouldy books.
Yeah. You once gave a sort of lovely list of the things that you really like the smell of, and you said one thing that you really liked was the smell of a woman passing, and I said, you're not allowed to say that.
You're not allowed to say that now, yeah. Not a woman with no scent on passing,
yeah.
Or a man with no scent on, it's just...
But you don't care about what you say, surely? Not
no,
if you're
I
rifled.
don't.
Exactly.
No, only your children do.
Well, all
Rein you in.
All children now have a totally different vocabulary of thought, even, I suppose.
I think that was always the case.
Yeah, but not quite so.
I was thinking, Isabel, when I love your prints so much, and you seem to inhabit the lives of plants in an extraordinary way, both through your writing and visually through the photography. And I always thought that because they're on a black background, they have a little whiff of death, I thought. Though now I've begun to look at them in a different light, because you described them differently to me once. You said that you wanted to get the sort of aggressive, the
Sometimes they are, yeah, curiously aggressive.
Punchy. In fact, they often look like sort of fists, don't they? They're a bit Maplethorpe-y in that sense.
Yeah, because my friend Johnny Shan Kidd wrote a foreword to a show I had. And he said they were bordering on violent. And I know what he means, but it's just random. But I like the violent ones because they're
the one of the seed of the Cardiocrinum lily, which looks like a crocodile.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if they're your alter ego, these prints. Is she punchy?
Yes.
If you had to write Isabel's epitaph or imagine her last words, what do you think they would be?
Unrepeatable.
Unrepeatable, yes.
What about you for Julian? I'm throwing that at you.
I don't know. We've always had a joke about.
She does miss me when she goes away.
Yeah.
I think that's what my epitaph would be. So you'll miss me.
She does miss me. No, but the autobiography is going to be called "I Know I'm Right About This."
Oh, that's so unfair.
That's nice. I quite like that on a tombstone. Have you thought about it? Will you have a tombstone?
Oh lordy!
I'd like to have a practical tombstone.
Well, wouldn't it be nice for
Well, I
people to come
suppose if you have a practical tombstone in the church, somebody's just going to... Well, they
like
could sit on it or something,
bench.
a bench.
Yes,
no,
a bench.
not a stone bench with a bit of fun in it,
Yeah,
with a puzzle.
Well, you know, the stone benches are your signature. You need a bench.
Well, we've done a lot of epigrams in wood and carving, lettering, and all that. All work with Simon and Belinda and.
In the gardens that you create.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And
Well, she did the high grade. The king did one on the temple in Stamper, and Isabel did the other. You had a good one. He had a very good one. His one
king?
was...
What
the
was
king
it?
had...
What was
it's
it?
a quote from Shakespeare. And
This is from As You Like It, and
it's very lovely.
Find Tongues in Trees, you know that?
Oh, yes, lovely.
Books in Running Brooks.
Yes.
And Good in Everything.
And good in everything.
I love that.
I love
really
that. And it's
terrific.
such a... Somebody was writing an article about him becoming king, and he rang me up and I said, all you have to do is read into that thing and you'll get the essence of the good man.
Lovely. Is he a natural gardener?
Yes, I think in another world, if he'd been born, he'd be in
he really loves
agriculture, horticulture. You know, his ancestor George III was brilliant at all that, but he's even better than that. And I mean, think of the Prince's Trust. That was an amazing thing to set up. And it was copied all over, Europe and the world.
And a visionary in the way he thought about landscape and land, actually.
Yeah, and when everybody else was thinking it was barking. An endless energy.
Presumably it's much more fun creating a garden when the owner is involved and has a view as well.
Well, that's everything in the end. It's really everything.
Because you're interpreting their dreams and fantasies.
But it needs them too,
Well, it needs their energy. They need to be interested. Otherwise it's
a bit of a
kind of
supermarket.
hollow. Yeah. It's not... Somebody said to me, is it your dream job that someone just hands something over to you? And I don't think it is.
We like
I
a
think
problem.
that would be really weird.
Yeah. So
That never happens either.
so no one just gives you a carte blanche and a blank canvas to...
Well, actually, Mr. John Robinson of Jigsaw fame totally did.
Yes, that's
when we designed his house.
He loved building
like a 19th century sort of mythical great builder. He just adored it. We did a model about the size of this table we're sitting at, of the whole garden. There was nothing there, absolutely nothing. And it had cloisters and everything.
We didn't think he'd do it.
He did.
He just put a big tick by the side of the model and said, with a slight stutter, it was very clever, get on with it.
So why are the English such great gardeners? Or
Because
great
they live in a
landscape?
landscape that changes every 20, 30 miles. There's the most different type of geology, geography.
Well, and the most amazing climate for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the Bay of Naples, as Repton said to his clients in Norfolk, but it changes so much, the landscape. And there's no other... France, the same stone goes on in France at Col for 30 miles. That's why the Normans bought their French stone. Every English stone changes slightly, even Bath stone changes. But it's, you've got the levels, and then you've got the Mendips all within 20 miles, and then you've got rolling hills. And it's an ever-imagining bit of clever luck. It's, all that picturesque movement.
And I guess you're quintessentially English gardeners in the sense that you move with that sense of looseness and abandonment in the garden as well. You're not trying to.
I quite like a bit of formal.
Okay, so looseness within the formality.
Well, we love Italian gardens,
within the portraiture of the
Yeah, but William Kent took something from Italy, and then you change it into. You don't pastichely copy something, but.
No, we did have a client who said, "Oh yes, I see you like right angles."
Yeah.
Because our plants are
There's quite a lot of right angles.
fundamentally,
There's not many
but
curves.
they're designed to be then busted and overgrown.
Well, your house doesn't have many right angles, really, does it?
Well, the garden does, unfortunately. I don't think there's a single curved path. But when you go outside looking towards the old bell, I mean, that's just a very simple minimalist garden in a sense, because it's just got the big ancient yews sort of full of pigeons. But that's very minimal. Okay. I love a lawn. I like the space of the lawn.
Is that a big extravagance, or your biggest extravagance in this?
Lawn? No, lawn's not as bad as
the yews.
The yews were the big extravagance in the beginning, but we sold lots of stuff to get it. And if we were going to go and live in this very sort of Dutch, in the sense of flat area, I thought. Also,
We desperately needed them. We didn't have much time.
Well, I could go on and talking about life and gardens and living with you and endings as well. And I think we need to make this an ending. So thank you very, very much. It's been such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I hope everyone hasn't gone to sleep listening to this.
That brings us to the end of today's conversation. If you've enjoyed it, do explore more episodes of The Third Act, either in your favourite podcast app or by searching for The Third Act podcast on Google. And if there's someone you think would enjoy what you've heard today, please do let them know about the show. This episode was produced by Pete Norton and made possible by Orions, the gold standard in later living. I'm Catherine Fairweather, and you've been listening to The Third Act.